All right, July 39. Americans bumped up to 54.
Cruisers. I got
Germans
more destroyers than you.
Finally took out that
submarines.
Russian coastal sub that was coming by.
Where's your
Subs are moving over here.
No,
The rest of the fleet is
Oh yeah,
moved
sorry,
in.
you've got more
The
subs.
fleet is down there. What do we got? 4 destroyers, a battleship, 2
Yeah, you got more
cruisers,
stuff than me. I
a
knew
handful
that.
of subs, a
Yeah.
couple of
It's
transports.
just, like, what was I going to do? Put everybody together and get them all killed? I
That
figured I
tag
could
right
try to
there,
save
right
my
beside the
transport
Navy
by
there,
putting
that
them
is
there,
the,
right?
the stuff sitting in
Because you can't make that
Munich
far.
there, or Bohemia I think it's called now. Bavaria. It's quite the stack of militia and a bunch of this stuff. Alright, that's the Italian Navy.
What's all in
They've
San
got
Francisco? Is
3
all this
battleships, 1 heavy battleship,
Yeah,
a couple of
just
cruisers,
the
5
tank,
destroyers,
3
a bunch of
Three
subs.
days,
And a plane.
That's sitting right here. So things are getting interesting. Germany's building up on here. We don't have enough as the Allies to crack through their fort there. They don't have enough.
I think I might try it
through
just
us.
for fun.
So
Not really what I intended
this
to
is our
do.
stack on the
Like
other
usually
side.
what I
London's not
expect you
doing
to
so
do is move
high.
your whole fleet stack here, and then I wouldn't be able to hit it at all. But the fact that you did that
And screened you.
and screen, yeah, putting it
Yep.
to use.
So
Because when you're
Russia's
adding
still
everything up,
holding
you
on
gotta
a
add
little
those
bit,
4 things in
but,
there.
Yeah.
2
it's holding
coastal
off the
subs, a
Japanese, 'cause
destroyer,
the
and
Japanese
a
are moving
sub.
their forces out to
I'd probably do something like that.
get the whole fleet out there.
That might get it.
They're in range of the Americans
true.
with their screen.
What does coastal sub defend at?
I don't know. I think it's minimal. Oh no, that's oh, that's not coastal sub. That's a torpedo boat destroyer.
But I'm looking at mine.
Oh, I see. Okay.
My coastal subs defend at 2.
So we're rolling 4s, and you'd be at 1 at 2 there.
I got two 2s, a 3, and a 4.
Yeah.
He's looking at it.
Yeah, I know. Is he gonna jump the gun and attack the Americans?
Did you buy?
Sorry, did I buy? Yep. I didn't. I should go ahead and buy. There is a shipyard here.
Mhm.
A shipyard here. What can you build on those shipyards?
Just regular two ships, regular ships.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
2
Okay.
ships
Instead
that
of
are normal,
Yeah.
not capital.
Where's my stack of money? I've been keeping this here lately.
Here, you can sit here if you want.
Okay. No.
Because then I could go and take a look at what I'm going to do for France.
Sure.
Because there's nothing I can do over here anyway.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta react, right?
Okay. Do I have my
So France, I guess you took some of my money, you dirty
All
bastard.
right. I'm gonna leave
15,
it here.
19.
We're.
I thought you-
see what happens.
No, I
Tech
bombed
wise,
it
everything's
with
moving
B2
forward.
rockets.
So
The Americans
And we're-
have.
how come I still got $19 then?
I have no idea.
Did you take my money off when you bombed me?
No, because I just put damage
No,
under the
you
factory.
choose to repair afterwards.
Yeah, I didn't want to choose your repair for you.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. It's
Talk
just
to me.
damage.
I just put damage underneath.
Yeah. Okay.
And you
okay.
just gotta-
I was
yeah.
thinking I lost money, but
So, yeah.
you're right.
Strategic rockets here. This
There's also
one was
that,
damaged for 3,
Armor and
but
trans
repaired
drones. He was
itself and
wondering
then
if
fired
You
and
put that there.
caused
or
6
he-
damage
I
there.
did.
You did.
And this one up here
It's
caused
not
4
an
damage
armor,
up
it's
there.
Tactus
We'll
Armor.
see.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
We're
I
getting
moved
this
them up.
back. And he repaired a bunch of damage on one of his factories too. So
I got my stuff ready, so don't get too excited here.
you just declared you went to war with USA.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then the British are going to declare war on you too.
Okay. But just hold off until.
I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
I can't do anything when my turn until your turn's
Sure,
done
sure.
anyway.
I'm gonna run to the washroom.
That
But
way
that
you,
means you don't get a first strike now because you declared war on you.
you can't first strike me now.
Oh yeah. But,
Yeah. But you
I'm
can still
not
first
gonna-
strike the Americans
Yeah.
because you declared. it,
Yeah.
right? And he can't declare war against
But I'm still
you
not
now.
guaranteed on that. But I want to go washroom first.
All right. There's a lot of thinking to be done here. So
Okay, so the Japanese have declared war on the Americans. So
I'm not sure about which ones.
we're still figuring it out.
Okay, these guys are going to be coming in here, taking out that with a marine and one of these other units.
Oh,
Here we
yeah.
go.
The Philippines. Beautiful.
Philippines indeed, yeah. Can I have a look at the American
he's going out to the
chart?
Philippines.
We're going to look at your American chart.
Yep.
It's out here, I think.
Yeah, it should be.
And here's the big head scratcher.
Yeah, 1,
You got
bonuses you
the
get.
screening force, and then this can only move
Bonuses for
after,
At war.
or the
Just
transports can
Just
land.
12?
You can't do both, right?
If I lost no money, I'd have
To move one
63, and
space.
then
Oh, I
12 is
gotcha.
75,
Oh, okay.
but probably going to lose Hawaii, and so
Right.
it'll be 75 minus Hawaii.
Right.
Or not Hawaii, I mean Philippines.
Yeah. Okay, in that case, I will do something slightly. Well, that's considered home country because sometimes the emphasis is.
I believe the home country is only the lower 48 for the U.S.
Yeah, it's only like the.
Yeah, see, all U.S. starting territories, not including any part of Alaska or islands.
Or what are you talking about?
That's what it says in this. In the case of this here, what your home country is.
Yeah, it's the lower 48, right? So everything that's
Yeah, so
here.
Philippines don't count. Alaska
Yeah.
doesn't count, is all I'm saying.
No,
Yeah.
so I'm still going to get my bonus.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. So this guy gets split into two. What I might do with this guy is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can theoretically, as I understand it, because is this guy participating? He's not participating
This would
in
be
any
a
screening
different
action.
attack, so this would be the screen
Right,
for
yeah.
that guy to get past.
Yeah. So this guy's gonna get
Which
past,
is
and he's gonna
The
land.
technicality, but yes, it's a
Yeah.
separate battle.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He's gonna cruise past and hit Western states, even though you can get it back on your turn immediately, I guess. So that defeats that.
Does that make sense to you?
What? I wasn't watching.
No, it's
Um,
all good. Don't worry about it.
He's screening this fleet
Yeah.
for an attack, and this fleet will then be the screen for an attack.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but the thing is, he'd get his bonus back immediately just by picking that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that went back here instead.
Yeah, I know. You don't want to do too much because then you
No.
don't have anything left.
1, 2, 3.
He can't reach that far anyway. That's
This
5
guy?
away.
1, 2, 3, 4. He came from here.
Oh, you mean just to take Hawaii?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant to take something in
Well,
the hometown
No,
territory.
no, but
Even those transports could have gone. Okay. Let's match this. I'm ahead by 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm gonna go with these guys as well. Hit you there. And I might need to take a little bit more.
so the screening force is what? A destroyer, a sub, and 2 coastal subs.
Yeah, that should be sufficient.
And then the main force you're attacking for the Americans is a carrier battleship. Is that a fast battleship?
The orange one is.
Yeah.
The black one is a regular.
Yeah.
They're exactly
It's
the
basically
same.
a regular battleship.
Yeah, they're
with
exactly the
national-
same except for the fast one goes 3.
Nice.
So I'm blocking
And
this
cost
one
one.
here.
Oh, here,
Oh, yeah.
let me
And then a
see
pair of cruisers, 4
Yeah, these ones over
destroyers,
now.
and 3 subs.
So these guys
These
go
ones are
1,
out of
2.
range. And then the
1,
main Japanese
2.
fleet's planning to.
I battle board it, but I don't
Screen
want to
this.
jinx myself. I'm hoping to stop them on the screening force.
Yep. Well, you never know. You never know, right? That's the whole point of the gamble. With
Yeah.
the screening force. And I like the fact that it's not just 1 destroyer or 2. That tiny little fleet stops the whole fleet is kind of ridiculous, right? I
Yeah.
really like this rule.
That's
I'm
also
happy
why I
that we're
put 4
showing
things
it.
in there. It was because,
Yeah.
is my 4 things going to be enough? Maybe you take 6 things and
Yeah,
that's
because
6
then
things that don't.
you don't
attack
want to
the other thing.
undercommit on
Yeah.
the attack on the screen.
I think it's a really cool rule.
Yeah.
I think it adds a lot
Just gonna back
to
out of your way.
the thought process, which is what I like. Right?
Well, even now it's like you want to put more in, but if you put too much, then the second attack's.
I think as Japan, I get bonuses through these 3. So maybe that's what I'll do
You
instead.
mean at the end of the game?
No, like immediate, like for money items, I think I get it. As these guys, right?
Look at
You
the
have to
sheet.
take them though.
Yeah, I have to take them. I just want to make sure
Look at your sheet
because
here
1,
for
2, 3, 4. I can hit some of those.
Possession of Borneo, Java, Malay, and Hawaii plus 2 each.
Oh yeah, okay, all right,
And Midway, Wake, and Solomon plus 1.
all right. Okay, then I will.
There used to be the Philippines on that list too.
Yeah, I gotta
No,
go.
that's
Yeah,
good.
they used to be, hey. Yeah. Okay, these transports will be going amphibiously to assault.
So you're not going to go after the Dutch, no?
No, not the Dutch. No, the Dutch can stay at peace.
Oh.
I was wondering why would you do that? Because then you're giving him a bunch of money.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll take the free British boats and money.
Not only that, but then those guys go British over there.
Yeah.
And this guy can go sub-raiding. These 2 will go sub-raiding here and here. Get you for some monies.
Is that an attack on Australia though?
Sorry?
He's separating because these are Dutch.
Yeah, he's gonna go.
So you're gonna be at war with Australia.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they already are.
Yeah.
He declared war on them.
I declared war on them first.
But
after he declared war on me.
Yeah.
so you can elect not to be at war with the Dutch then, because he's not at war with the Dutch.
No, he's going to convoy he can convoy the line for the Australian money, but not the Dutch money.
Okay, good.
Because the Dutch are still neutral, but if the Dutch join, then he can nail that money too.
Okay, alright,
That
let's
means
do
I got
this.
another sub I got to start hunting.
Two? No, two
The other-
subs.
on the
This
other
one,
side of the
yeah,
map.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Just as soon as one side's cleaned up.
No, it's not cleaned up. You just move five more out there.
Yeah.
I'm hoping you attack me because it's the only way you can see.
Well, the Americans
kills.
are in it now anyway,
Yeah.
Just 1, 2, 3,
And the Russians are still
so
alive.
they can go tub thumping. Or I
Yeah.
mean sub hunting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even with all this stuff set up here, like these seaplanes are pretty much useless for anything except for a cap to find a sub. Those,
Scratching his chin.
Corvettes
What
can't attack a sub by themselves.
Well, what I could do
Or
is
very much.
That's what
come
I do.
here with these two, and the aircraft could continue past to here, right? And then they could come back to here because I have 1, 2. Well, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, they have to end up here.
Yeah.
The carriers have to end up there.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, it doesn't. It gives your ships, but not your planes that +1
Yeah.
movement.
And those ships.
I've
can't-
had it happen before where you plan it out and you're like,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
it's just unless my plane started and
Yeah.
everything sounds, it's no good.
I might send an additional one here just because.
That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah, it's that.
You know, and it still
It's
might
hard.
not be enough, or it might be way too much, right?
It's luck of the dice.
It's hard.
You're
That's,
rolling
that's what I like about this.
2 for the coastal. No, this is 2 for the sub.
2 for the coastal on defense.
2 for the coastal, and this
3
other
for
sub
the
is
sub,
3.
isn't it?
Okay, I thought it was 3-2 for defense. Like defense was weak.
Let's
and
find
I'm
out.
looking here on the defender here, and yeah, it's 2.
2 for defense.
Submarines
No,
are
it's 3, sorry,
submarines
it's
are
3.
3.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, yeah. So submarines are just
Coastal
as good attack as
subs
defense.
2,
Okay, then I will.
and the destroyers.
I
are
would
same,
take like
it's a
6
4.
subs in there too, at least.
Yeah.
Just overload it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
This
then
is
overload
awesome.
the next attack. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do that battle right here.
Right there, yeah.
That'll be the one. So what are you gonna do? Fight or flight?
What are you talking about?
Right here.
Oh, I'm fighting you.
You fighting? Okay.
No.
All right, let's do it.
100%.
Yeah,
Looking-
no, I'm scared. Where's my dice tray? Where's my Andrew dice tray?
Let me just check if I'm doing any moves here. I don't think I am.
Right here.
Ah. Somebody was hiding it on me.
Amphibious assault
What?
over there.
Yeah,
Just got added in on Hong Kong.
Yourself.
No commanders for me.
So
I don't think he's got a command. Oh, he's got a commander.
Yeah.
Or but where's your commander? Is he with the dudes or?
he's
is he,
with the ships.
which ones?
The big one for this fleet.
Okay.
That's the
Ooh.
plan. Okay, so. Alright.
Oh, speaking of commanders.
Oh yeah,
Japan
America's
gets a-
gonna get commanders now.
Japan gets a new commander, and it's
So I need one marine.
Good call. Everybody gets commanders.
everybody gets a commander who just got involved in the war here.
What happened to my
I don't think you get an extra
No,
one
I think I
for
just got
Russia.
Do-do-do-do-do.
But France gets a free commander.
America gets one. I might as well take out another one because I'm going to declare war on Germany any second now.
Yeah.
And if you're
In fact, I'll just do it right now.
Okay, look.
So I get
Go.
2 commanders.
So Germany gets a free commander now.
and if you're
Mr. Germany, okay, if I throw a
Yeah,
commander in
sure,
Berlin
do it.
for you.
I got a commander right there. And
Where's French been?
well, I got a commander now.
Nice.
Oh, no, I guess. Sure. If it could start, or does it start in the capital?
This guy's starting in the capital.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's a
Germany?
good question, isn't it?
Yeah,
Commander in
let's
the
look it up
capital?
because that has a very crucial.
I
well, guess
believe
it's
they
not
all
that.
start in the capital, and you got a non-combat movement on your turn.
Oh, so I can't start him there? What a drag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's the capital.
Okay. Yeah.
You had to catch me on that one, didn't you?
I did. That could
Would
be
you like a
quite-
French?
French commander, yeah. Throw
Is
him down.
France joining in too?
Yeah, he's declaring war on Japan.
Yeah.
The Japanese.
if you were war with Italy, would you get a third one?
Yeah.
Yeah. But Italy's not at war with anybody unless Italy changes its mind.
I have a feeling they're going to do that.
That would be smart.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot less
There's a whole lot of thinking,
It
which,
is.
which I understand.
Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah, I guess you got 2 ships versus my sub if you make it through.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's just your sub against my sub.
No. There's. Oh, I see. Because he has to participate.
Well, no, is the destroyer hauling a guy?
He's
Is he
hauling.
part of the amphibious assault and sub
He's-
versus sub?
He's intending to just deposit the dude.
All right, but if he's in part of the scream, then he's not part of the landing.
Right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll just solve it by doing this.
Throw that plane in there. That
Throw
way
that
the
plane there.
destroyer's out of the screen.
Stay out of the front.
Perfect. And I
Actually-
can't kill your plane, so it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. It's just a matter of how
Yeah.
if I can kill your sub or
Well,
not.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can subs attack subs then?
If they, yeah,
Well, yeah.
it's weird.
Yeah.
My sub engaged, and then his sub is also joining in, right? My sub can still submerge instead of shooting,
Yeah.
whatever. But that plane's not involved in the land battle anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do with that. I gave you a German commander and a French commander. I did not give the British any commanders yet, but I'll figure that out.
All right. Let's do some rolling.
Japan gets another commander too.
Yes, Japan does get another commander.
Actually, they're gonna get lots of them too.
Japan got a commander for the British, a commander for the French, and a commander for the Americans.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna get 3 commanders in their
Yeah.
capital if you just.
And they're at war with China, and they're at war with. Well, I guess that doesn't count. They're mining nations.
China.
Beware the Hawaiian screening force.
But you got a commander for the.
We gotta get going here because dinner's almost ready. We gotta get out there.
So here's 3 destroyers at rolling at 4. Not a hit.
Yay!
And I have 2 submarines rolling at 3. 1. And then I have 1 coastal torpedo boat destroyer at 2. Miss. Just
So I had
hit.
1 hit.
Yeah.
That'll be a coastal sub. Okay, so these are coastal subs.
Right on.
This is the sub and this is the destroyer. They're all the right color.
Sounds
Okay.
Alright,
Dick.
so you lost 1 coastal.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 destroyers at 4. Hit. And I got 2 subs at 3. Miss. And 1 torpedo boat at
2.
2. Yep, so miss. 1 hit again.
1 hit. 2 hits.
2 hits, alright.
Yeah.
Miss.
So and you're losing your torpedo boat again.
Yeah, my
Very coastal
You got
sub.
2 hits.
I got 1 hit on you alone.
Yep.
And that's it.
You got it.
Okay, let's go with 3 blues at 4. 2 hits.
Oh, you bastard. He gets through.
Take some units.
Miss. Okay. So
Alright.
here. Let us
Would
battle
you
about
like
that.
this to be stuck somewhere in his.
Yeah, just here. Okay.
Oh god, all the stuff that's showing up. Yeah,
Hey, there's your
something like that, yeah.
Japanese
But-
force. What do you got there?
Bomber. Mine on the
2
other hand
battleships,
has 2.
battle cruiser,
Okay, so let's
tactical, 2
Okay,
fighters,
So you're rolling -1s for the
3.
surprise there too, right?
cruisers,
You're not rolling -1 for the
5
surprise as well.
destroyers.
what's surprising?
and
Like
heavy
you're
infantry.
surprised with this Pearl Harbor attack. So
Oh, -1. Yeah, okay. Tell you what. Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
can leave
everybody
it
just
there.
goes over.
That's just for round 1, right?
just round 1, yeah.
Everybody
Or is
goes.
it? I better double check that.
Yeah, it is. You just read it. I remember now.
Oh, okay, all right.
So you're -1 on everything for round 1.
Yeah, and I've done it.
And
Yeah,
his
why
planes
not?
are
And
first strike.
were you +1 to begin with or no? You weren't. You weren't.
No, just the +1 move.
He's
My
got
aircraft is
he's
+1.
got a commander there,
Tell you
so
what,
he gets the
you
plus.
do the filming, okay?
My aircraft is +1
I'll
though.
take this.
I'll film this side. You film that side. How's that sound?
Yeah. You'll have to get two computer screens side by side
You're gonna have to watch both screens.
and then sync them up and never mind.
That was pretty complex at that point.
And I just turn it down, so I'm just looking at the stuff instead of everything else. And I'm not looking at your stuff. Just looking at your stuff.
Herbert.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to do like
Is that
you.
news? Just don't forget to roll your aircraft stuff.
Yeah. I'm doing it kind of what he's doing. White is the blue here. Yellow is the green.
Why don't you just use
Why don't
blue
you
for
just use
blue?
blue and yellow?
Blue for blue. Well, I got 2 blues here, the
Oh, Okay. destroyers
destroyers and the fighters, right?
Yeah.
So I'm rolling a big old handful.
Well, but you remember, like, the fighters are different, right? So,
Yeah.
So-
So I got here, one is 5 and one is 12 here. So,
And you use white for the destroyers.
and
Tactical bomber.
is that 5? See, I was going to ask you about that.
Did it hit or not?
Yeah, it's hit.
Because your planes are first strike, so you got 2 first strike hits. Is that correct?
No, just one from the fighter and one from the the
Two.
tactical. But I didn't realize there
So
were first
2
strike.
first strikes
Yeah.
and the tacticals targeted.
Just on first strikes on the first round for
Okay.
them. So I think
Practically everything hit at this point.
Well,
I think I'm
Not
going
this
for the hits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off my fleet carrier
Okay.
for those 2 hits.
Right?
Okay.
Not
Even
this
though
one.
that's an expensive unit.
And everything else hits. So everything minus 4 hits. So 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
4 misses.
10 hits.
10 hits.
And what's your target?
That's not including the 2 hits, right?
That is including
That's
the
everything.
target.
Yeah.
So 8 more hits.
8 more hits, yeah.
So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is still target select, isn't it?
Battleships can absorb a hit.
Well, what did you target?
What
Yeah,
am I
I think I'll do that.
Did you have to pick one of your hits, right?
Do I do it first or after you choose
Well,
captain?
I'll go
you
like
select
this.
your target,
I'll go
right?
like this because then I'm gonna move it around.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Wait, for my target selection, can I choose aircraft or must it be ships for this?
If it's a tactical,
it can't be air. It can't be
never
aircraft.
be air.
It can't be aircraft. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'll take one of your cruisers out. That's my target select.
Okay. So we'll move this down.
And since my fighter
Is that
hit
looking at
in the
the
first
whole thing?
round, so I
Yeah.
think he will have to take away a fighter out there too, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's gonna have to lose an aircraft.
So 2 of
Well,
these go back
It doesn't have
on.
to be a fighter. You could pick the tactical if
Yeah,
he wants
yeah.
instead. But
Yeah, actually, let's do that. Okay. Let's do that. Okay, so that's the way it looks like. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So 3 subs at 3. Or no, 3 subs at 2.
A 2, yeah.
Yes.
minus, yeah.
So missed, and 4 destroyers at 3. Oh. Missed. Oh, this is going to be devastating. Okay, tactical bomber at 4. Missed. Oh, damn. Okay, so
roll your fighters separate.
yeah, my 2 fighter. Well, the 2 fighters are blue, and the 2 cruisers are yellow, and they're at 5.
All hits.
All hits.
All hits.
2 planes.
2 planes off you,
2 planes, my goodness, that's expensive.
and then I've got 2 battleships at 7.
2 at 7.
2
I'll take
battleships
them
at
off.
7.
I'll just put them here then. 1 hit.
1 hit.
So
I
you only got,
That
you got
sucks.
a total of 5 hits, right? Two
Yep.
That
fighters and
sucked balls.
2.
2 fighters and 3 other items.
So 1, 2, 3. Actually, I could destroy. Well, carriers take forever to build up, so I'm gonna do this.
Lose a
So
destroyer,
these
2
things
fighters,
here
and
go-
then hit both your battleships.
Yeah.
This one here goes here.
Yeah.
This one
Man,
here
that's-
goes here.
That was
these things
a
all go up
really lopsided first roll.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you expect for the first strike.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so devastating, right?
Because you got the first strike and you got the -1,
Yeah.
right? So
So these
That's
are
the devastating part about it. I could have done a little bit better, like I might be hit or 2 with a
yeah, but I mean
destroyer,
everything you were until you started rolling 5s, your odds of hitting are 1 in 4.
Okay, let's go.
Round 2. Here's the tactical hit with the 1, and then I have.
That's a targeted hit.
That's
It's
target.
always
yeah.
targeted.
1 at 8, success. 3 at 7. 2 hits. How much?
You're hitting everything?
So, well, 1 miss so far. And then 2 battleships.
A 7 and a
2
2.
with a 7 missed. And then I have 4 destroyers, and those got 1 hit.
So how many you got all together? 2, 4, 6, 7? 2, 4, 6.
4, 6, and 1's targeted.
It's all done. It doesn't matter. So I've got I've got 1 at 8.
Just over.
And I've got
Stuff down.
4 at 6. Come on, let's get some hits this time.
Yes.
Oh,
1, 2, 3.
Nice.
3 destroyers gone.
Okay, so I'm done. I've got nothing. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, 7. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
My
I was in
casualties
it.
are 4 destroyers and 2 fighters.
So what you got left?
This. So basically everything.
These 2 are damage?
Yeah, those 2 are damage, and I lost 4 and 2 fighters.
That's it? You only lost 6 things?
Yeah.
6 things and 2
And
damaged
damaged
battleships.
battleships, yeah.
Okay. These are still on?
They're still on
Yeah,
board, yeah.
untouched.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to, otherwise you wouldn't.
Well, I could have flipped 1 here. I'll do that because it's a damaged carrier.
But you can still land ships on it.
Yeah,
Or
you
plane
can land
aircraft.
planes on.
Well, that's
In this game, people, you can land planes on damaged carriers. Okay, so I'm going to shut this off now
You can land.
because I have to go and
Okay.
finish making dinner. And you see how the battle turned out. Okay.
So I've tipped the carrier and kept a destroyer. So these are chucked.
Yep. So you've damaged 3 battleships and you lost, or 3 capital
Okay.
ships.
Yeah.
You lost 4 destroyers
Yep,
and 2 fighters.
4 destroyers, 2 fighters.
Yeah. Otherwise, you got your whole fleet intact. You still got a light carrier, damaged fleet carrier, 2 destroyers, 2 damaged battleships, 3 cruisers or heavy cruisers.
Yeah.
1 battle cruiser and 1 tactical.
Yep.
Nice. And that was amazingly devastating. The Americans lost everything in 2 rounds, but your first round rolling with that first strike from the aircraft, that kind of, everything
Set
that
the
they
pace,
hit couldn't roll back at you, right?
Yeah. Plus the commander was pretty
And you
devastating.
had the commander +1, he had the
Yeah.
negative -1.
Yeah.
It was basically a 2-point swing.
Yeah. It was rough.
Yeah, that was an odd one. So, Coastal Sub popped up and said it was going to block the movement, so they had a screening force. Destroyer and transport brought in 3 infantry for amphibious assault, but strangely, the Hong Kong infantry managed to kick them out. So that was a victory here for me, a very minor victory compared to this overwhelmingly large navy that's still alive after they kicked the American Navy to death. And the Americans got that little holding it out of the way navy that's looking like a juicy target for you now.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big win for you. And you took the Philippines as well. That was an uncontested first strike bombardment. So
Yeah.
Dinner's ready in like 30 seconds.
Okay, it's are we on the same turn?
Same turn as we've been for a
July
while.
42.
We've been on this
We've been on this
turn
turn for a while. We had supper. We took a break. Britain vacated on this end, and France vacated the Med on that end. And we just noticed something kind of funny in the rules because Britain can't declare war on you to close the strait, and you, or Italy, moved out of the Med, through that navy in Sea Zone 79, through the navy in Sea Zone 105, and then decided to attack the navy in Sea Zone, what is that, 106, 108? 108. So, technically by the rules, that's cool, but I think if we were going to keep the rules the same way, I mean, we'll play with it.
Yeah.
I'm willing to play with it as the British player,
Yeah.
right?
Well, in the rules it says.
But it's kind of a gamey thing that I don't know if it should stay in the rules the way it is.
Here,
And
if I
since
may.
we're doing a play test,
Oops.
and if there's anything else you want to show about this
Sure,
or
if I
say,
could.
go ahead.
Like it. So in the rules it speaks about you can't pass through canals on a combat move. You can only non-combat move through the canals. So the reason being is you can't combat move through the canal, then declare war and attack anything on the south of here, like specifically this Egypt area. Like basically they're limiting a person from attacking through a canal before declaring war. So they have the same rule in the old example for the rules for a submarine. That the example was you can pass your submarine underneath the English fleet, and then when you get on the other side, you declare war on them, and then you do your battles. but they've changed that rule. I haven't found it in the sheet if it speaks about submarines yet. And so I was working on the same idea. The submarines could still pass through there regardless of how we do the rules because straits don't limit it. But my 2 destroyers are the issue if they can actually get that far or not. See, because what I did is combat moves, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the 4th move, declare war. So it's kind of a gimmicky in the sense of you're combat moving without actually being at war. But the rules, the letter of the rules say it one way, but the spirit of the game doesn't seem to encourage it.
So I'm willing to go with it, but at the same time, just wanted to put it on video so that if somebody's going to review this and
it's good.
want to adjust the rule or not,
this one of the few ways we can
find out the gimmicky, gamey things that may happen until you play it.
Yeah. And this is one of the few ways we can actually reach the developers and stuff too.
Yeah.
Right? By having them see it.
That's the whole point of this, not to slam it, but to see if we can fix it. Or if this is the intent, then know that it's the intent in advance.
Sure. Yeah. Get that confirmation from them.
Okay.
So, what do we think? I can undo it. It's not a big deal.
Okay, RC Rankirk is back again. We're still doing Global War 36 to 45 by Historical Board Gaming. It's a play test on this wonderfully printed map. We're having a few adventures here where we're learning the new rules and testing them out. I'm just going to go to the map here, or the turn tracker. We're currently on where we just finished July 42. That turn took us forever, and next turn is going to be January 43. That'll probably be Monday morning because everybody's way too tired. It's currently it's like 10:30 here, so this last turn has taken forever, but there's been a lot of thinking and moving and what are we going to do and declarations of war and all sorts of stuff. So it's been a busy turn. Anyway, I'm just going to do a recap of current incomes. This is not with bonuses. The Germans are making 75. The Americans are at 61. Japanese are at 37. Britain is in fourth place with 19. France is still at 16. FEC is at 14. Italy's at 12. Russia's at 8. Australia's at 7. And Canada's at 5. Whew. All right. Now I'm going to walk around and show you some tech here first. Just because that's kind of important and affects things. All right. Everybody's done a few tech rolls. Britain hasn't done anything for a while since it got its tech. It's kind of late in the game to be starting tech. Unless you got a ton of money like the Americans. So currently, we have the Japanese with heavy armor. They got that since the beginning. Jets for French and US. Let's see what else we got. Long range aircraft for the US. Advanced subs for the British. We've got Russia with advanced anti-submarine warfare. Waste of time, but that was their freebie roll. Strategic rockets for Germany. They've been using them quite well. Wartime economy is Italy, Germany, Japan, and Britain. Improved shipyards is, I think Germany is in here. Let me just double check here. Yeah, this is all 3 axis. Germany, Japan, and Italy, along with British and the Americans. Heavy battleships. The Americans are halfway, or almost there. They just need one more roll. I keep failing on that one, but they're trying. And then the attack transports, they got that one as well. And heavy carriers, the Germans got that as a freebie roll, and the Americans just rolled for that this last turn here. Whew. And there's a handful of other tech. Russia started a whole bunch back before they were at war with anybody and made any money. But now they don't have any money, and they're not doing this anymore. I'm just going to switch this out. That way they all look the same. All right. So, yeah, I haven't shown you any video from this side. Now you get to see how how things look from the German and Russian side here. So, Germany has started to build up some units in here. They've been building up units here steady. This card here is actually right here. So as you can see, they've got 4 tank destroyers. They've got a stack of 8 dudes, an AA gun, an artillery, a commander, and they got a stack of 8 Volkssturm militia. So they can move inside of Germany, but they can't leave. All right, and then they have this navy here, which is 3 destroyers, 2 cruisers, a battleship, and 2 subs and 2 transports with a commander. That's sitting right over here, safely protected by the straits and the Kiel Canal. And then they have this final card here where they got 1 tank and 3 infantry and a commander. And that card's actually sitting here just outside the Suez. So things are not looking so good for us this past few turns. So I'm not sure when I last filmed, but the last film I was doing was actually in the middle of this last turn during the Japanese turn. And I did a little clip during the Italian turn just to show what was going on. I'm going to flesh that out a little bit more here. But Germany has got building up here quite steadily. And we're playing with the air bases allow you to scramble next door. So if France or Britain attacks here at this fort that Germany's built, these aircraft can scramble from this air base to an adjacent land zone, not just the adjacent sea zone. And that has seriously affected us earlier. The French just actually came in here and did a strategic bombing run on a factory here, caused 1 damage. But they took out a fighter in the interception, and or 2 fighters in the interception. They lost 1 fighter of their own, so that's kind of like a win, I'd say. But yeah, it was pretty rough go there for the Germans on that. But with having all these planes that could get involved in the thing, it made it so we couldn't cross the line and go into Germany. And now Germany's starting to just outspend us, so I don't know. We'll see. Germany hasn't been spending as much money on this side anymore. They've been spending their money over there and down here. So, yeah, a couple turns ago, Germany took Transcaucasia, and that gave them that gave them Turkey as an alignment. And since then, they've come in and they've attacked here and here. They attacked here. They lost both sides lost their units, but they couldn't take the ground. So I'm sure they're going to rectify that this turn. Russia doesn't have a lot of stuff left. Russia really only has a militia here and a couple stacks of militia and three or four mechs in there. That's it. So it's not doing too hot, but it's still alive, which is a shock considering how much money the Germans they've been under attack since July 39 in here. Japan has come through here on this side, and they've just been annihilating everything. And they used to be sending all their planes in and whatever. This a couple turns ago, Japan had a few land units and aircraft in here, and Russia actually did a blitz attack from here, 1-2, or not a blitz, but they moved to here and there from Stalingrad, along with some planes and a tank and some mechs. And then they took a bunch of militia and attacked in there. They attacked for 1 round, strafe, and then moved all the troops in here to their capital. They've also, in the past couple turns, relocated their major factory to their capital because it was looking under some serious threat over there. Japan has been constantly going back and forth here with the Russians. The Russians are doing amazingly well staying alive considering the attacks they've been under from Japan. And it's been nuts because Japan has just been having free reign over here because Japan hadn't done anything except for take out China for the most part. It's left the CCP with 1 zone here, and the FEC or the KMT with that zone there. I'm going to borrow this pointer because this is getting my fat hand in the way. Odd using somebody else's. Mine is usually a metal chopstick, so yeah, this CCP still has 1 zone, but they keep filling their recruitment roll of 1, so they can't get any dudes. And these KMT here, They got one zone that's worth no money. They got a buck in the bank, but they can't receive any lend-lease. They can't build anything. So Japan's just left them because they're surrounded and they can't do anything. So why bother? Oh, this guy's in here. There we go. So Japan has been, doing what they've been doing here, just running rampant. And the British FEC and ANZAC, they couldn't declare war on Japan earlier because that would keep the Americans out of the war. So they're hoping that they could be bait for the Americans to get involved. And the Japanese never fell for it, so that was no good. All right, now we get into some interesting things here. We were talking about how you could, what do they call that rule again? You could split your forces. Of course, it's slipping off the top of my head. We were just talking about it for hours. We used to do that before, where you could split your navy and you could fight the fleet, and then separate your fleet into two forces. One to fight the fleet, and then the second force would be able to move past the fleet. But that actually occurred last turn for Japan. This tactical here and the sub were fighting the coastal sub that said, "Hey, I'm fighting you. I'm not letting you pass." And then this destroyer and transport were trying to land in Hong Kong. So they did kill the coastal sub in one round, and then these guys did their bombardment and amphibious assault. But this amazing dude in Hong Kong, he managed to defeat 3 infantry that were attacking him in short order. So the screening force rules, that's the word I was looking for. Now, in the screening force rules of this version 3, you can do one or the other. If you engage in combat with enemy units present using combat phase, the screening force wins, the moving force immediately moves to the next sea zone, where it may conduct a second regular naval combat or an amphibious invasion, such as here. It cannot do both. All right, I'm going to show you an example of how that happened. I already showed you the rolling and whatnot of this battle that earlier in the video here, but I'm going to show you this part just to explain why you could do one or the other, right? So there was a American screening force in here, not very big. So the Japanese had to split their forces and take a small forces to the survivors of that and attack that fleet, right? And then they had the option of 2 things. They could either take these transports and land on Hawaii, or they could take the Navy and fight over here. They took the advantage of the Navy fighting over here, which meant they could not land these units here also, right? You can't use a screening force to do 2 different things, right? Just one or the other. So as a result, these transports are just sitting in here to be protected by these to land here next turn, or they could decide to come in here and land here or down here in Mexico. I don't know what their plan is. Or they could turn around and go somewhere else. So General Hangard, the Americans, he had a few guys over here, and yeah, he kept saying as soon as I was setting them up on the thing, "Oh man, I should have put my regular battleship in here and my fast battleship here," because this battleship can only move 2, right? The other one could move 3. So he would have been able to move his fast battleship up here with this fleet carrier, right? And he's going to attempt to use the northern sea route and get him across if possible, maybe, or not, right? But I mean, this stuff can still reach him possibly, so there might not be a chance that can even happen. All right, and these guys, they're pretty much hooped because this fleet right here is that fleet there. So we got a heavy cruiser, a battle cruiser, 3 heavy cruisers, or what used to be considered a regular cruiser. We've got 2 destroyers, we got 2 damaged battleships, a fleet carrier with a tactical, and we got a light carrier with no planes. So we lost a bunch of planes. And these ones he built last turn, and they have no planes. But he's got 1, 2, 3 planes he can put on the ships here, so he can fill this fleet with those, And he's only 2 planes short over here. You know, if Japan builds a few planes, they got it down. So this force here made it so that the Japanese could not, or the Americans would be suicidal to place any units on this side for Navy. So they just bulked up their forces quite, their stacks of infantry, just in case these transports decide to come in. Canada's done the same thing. They got 2 home guard here and a mountain infantry that the Americans were kind enough to lend lease across the border. All right, so these guys kind of have an attack of 0, but they do defend it 2, and they can move inside Canada. This guy's just a regular mountain infantry, and since he's in mountains in British Columbia there, he should be good. And I don't know if you've ever been to British Columbia, but it's pretty much mountains from coast to coast with the odd valley in between, or a lake inside the valley. Looks a lot like Washington State if you've been in the US there. All right. What else has happened? Now we'll progress from the Japanese turn here. I'm just moving around the map to the British here. The Japanese have moved this guy down in here to do some convoy raiding. So the Anzac has moved this light carrier and a couple of ships up there to maybe prevent it from coming down. Maybe be able to get it. I doubt it. He's not dumb enough to leave it sitting there. And if he does, it's an oversight. They got a sub here. Maybe they can get it in to do a convoy right here or there. I doubt it's going to live, but you never know. Oh, I guess they need a plane on cap to find it, so it'll probably live for a bit. And we got a fairly substantial stack in. Here, let's turn this down a little bit here. We got a fairly substantial stack in the land here. What do we got? We got about 6 dudes and a couple of Marines and a motorized and a militia and a commander and an NA gun. So we're doing okay there. And we got a minor shipyard, so we can build units here. Like we can build ships. I appreciate that. I understand the point of that. The only problem I have with this is this minor shipyard does not give any movement bonus, even though you can build ships there, right? So I'm not sure. I understand the concept of these things, but maybe it needs a little tweak in here because there's so many different ports and whatever on here. We're always constantly checking the book to see which one means what. Another issue with that is FEC has no ability to build any ships. It's got a dockyard here where it can repair a capital ship, so it can repair a battleship or a fleet carrier. But it can't build a single ship anywhere in India. Alright? So that's kind of odd. That's been a major change. So all the British ships have to either be built by Anzac down here with their $7 income, or they got to be built in a shipyard way over here in Britain. So that seriously changed how you can play with the FEC. Right, because if you lose your transport, you can't build a replacement. You have to get these guys to build it for you. That's almost impossible. Right? The only reason that's happened is because Japan decided to wait till July 42 to attack, and they left the British out of it completely alone, just so that the American income would stay down. All right, what else do we got going on here? Yeah, so we got a half decent stack here. We got a few militia over here just because they got the fort bonus and the coastal gun. I just didn't want Japan to just walk in there and get their $2 bonus. In here we got 16 infantry, 3 tanks, a mech, commander, Gurkha, another Gurkha over there. Those guys are kind of cool. They're well, we were looking at that same as the French Foreign Legion. They can be built like a colonial. I'm assuming it was a typo because in the rules I could build a regular infantry colonial for $4, but these are mountain infantry that have first strike and jungle, and they attack at 3 and defend at 5, whereas the regular infantry attack at 2 and defend at 3. And if they were the same price for a colonial, like built without a factory, we just artificially bumped this up to the same cost as the SNFL, Marines or the elite Marines that the Americans have to $5. We did the same thing with the French Foreign Legion. That one was, we weren't sure what was quite going on with that. Here's one here. The French Foreign Legion, by the name of it, is, and from what I recall, I'm not an expert here, so I could be incorrect, but I believe it was foreign nationals that could join the French Foreign Legion, right? Obviously foreign, right? So it was basically like a colonial troop, but in the game here it's an elite, and the rules originally had it at a cost of 4, which is the same as the cost of a French colonial. So we did the same thing with them, and we bumped them up to $1 to buy, because they also are attack at 3 and defense at 5, whereas a regular infantry costs 3 but 4 if you build a colonial, right? So figured that would be a fair way of doing it. Let's see. So the British fleet left here and moved down to here, to this port in Aden. And then the French fleet moved over here, which we knew that this Italian fleet here was going to kick our butt. We had no defense against it, and we weren't sure if they were ever going to get involved in the war. So we figured if we opened up the Med, Italy would finally get involved in the war, because until they attack, we had we couldn't attack them, right? Like, as per the rules, you can't attack Italy until Italy attacks something that's not Abyssinia here or Albania there with the symbol on it there, just next to Yugoslavia and Greece. So, as a result, I did a quick video on this earlier. Normally, if you're Britain and somebody's coming out and they obviously have intentions you don't want, like coming out here or whatever, you could declare war on them and stop them from moving out. But Britain was unable to declare war on Italy under any circumstance until it declared war on something else, right? So Britain couldn't stop them from coming through, and they came through here. This nice little navy, only a battleship and a coastal defense and a cruiser and destroyers and subs and stuff. Then they went through this on escort duty, which is fair, right? I mean, it's an escort duty ship. It doesn't block movement. And then they decided to come down here and they attacked a British destroyer on escort duty and a light carrier with a fighter on it that was not on escort duty. And the only reason for that is this German sub. I finally got this down here so I could finally attack that German sub with that escort carrier. That took me forever to try and track him down, and I was hoping he wasn't going to move, but he was probably going to move because I moved the carrier down there. But instead, this came and killed it. So I don't know. These rules are kind of rough. So unless the sub attacks you, you'll have almost no chance of killing it, which is kind of bogus when you got that many, those 5 subs sitting there. And I can't even hunt it down unless I bring 1 plane on cap per sub and 1 plane on cap, and I compare it with 1 destroyer each for each plane on cap. Well, man, how am I supposed to get 5 planes in there, right? So I got 1 plane on cap and 1 destroyer paired up. I can attack those subs. So 2 or 3 of those subs can attack me, or they can all submerge the next round, right? So if I get no hits, they all submerge, and now I'm done, right? And I only got 2 attacks. Doesn't matter if I brought the battleship and everything in there, I just can't use them. So I'm not sure. I still, I thought that the Canada at Arms or Canada at War, I'm not sure, would make a difference here. But these corvettes here, they can't attack subs unless a sub escorts the same line they're on, or attacks the same line they're escorting in a convoy raid. Well, yeah. So they've been completely ineffective in hunting down subs unless subs came and shot at them first, intentionally attacking the units instead of the convoys. They've been completely ineffective. They only attack at 2, and these seaplanes only attack at 3 and defend at 1, right? So my odds of getting a hit with those are virtually 0. Okay, so what else is going on here? The Canadian factory has been busy, but only the British have been utilizing it every turn. The French only did it once, And in this aerodrome here, they're building a Lend-Lease fighter for $8 each turn in a zone here. The only issue with that is you got to plan in advance. So you save $2 on your fighter, but you build it here. Then you got to Lend-Lease it to yourself at the end of the next turn, right? Where's the end of that turn? I can't remember. Well, no, you place it there, so then you have to Lend-Lease it the next turn. And I Lend-Lease it here, and then on the third turn, I can actually use it for something unless it gets attacked. So it's taken me 3 turns to get one fighter to the British side. And I'm only saving $2 to do it. If I needed fighters right now, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I'm kind of doing that in a plan ahead zone here. But it's taken a lot of time to get those fighters across the water. Yeah, so the French and the British and the Americans have a slight fleet advantage on this side, but Gibraltar's pretty weak, so I might have to take these 4 transports and a few dudes down here into Gibraltar. But Italy hasn't taken that this turn, so I do have a chance on the British turn, but that's going to sidetrack our attempts here. This is our Lorraine defense here. So there's a bunch of tank destroyers. That's a tank destroyer. We don't have sculpts for that in French yet. This is the tanks, the new Char B. And we got a stack of French infantry, a small stack of British infantry, British tank and mech, French commander, a couple of militia. So it's not a huge thing, but it's on the other side of the Maginot Line, so that might help. And here's the stack in London here. So we got the fighters scramble and a strategic. I've been using that strategic for a while now, but they got so many fighters that I can only send the strategic by itself. My fighters don't have the range. And I don't have enough time left in the game to start rolling for long range aircraft. By the time I do, it's not going to be a factor. So I maybe should have been rolling for that earlier. But yeah, as you can see, Italy's taken Suez this past turn here. They've also from here, Kufra taken over Western Egypt. So they got both Western and Eastern Egypt. So these guys here are no longer moving up the way towards them. I might take this Italian Somaliland just out of spite. But I'm going to have to start defending down here somewhere. I could move in here, because desert stops you to move to 1. And force them to attack me here. But I don't have enough units, and they're probably going to overwhelm me. Especially when the British or the Germans get their troops in. The Americans have done quite a bit of building over here. So they got themselves a fast battleship. They got an attack transport here. So that transport eliminates double casualties for amphibious assaults. So they don't have to bring Marines. They can just bring regular dudes. And they've had this... so we have effectively made a wall to stop subs from moving past. But we can stop a sub on cap. But the likelihood of us killing them here and here pretty low. In here we can have the 2 aircraft and say a pair of destroyers gang up on them. And on this one here, I only got the 1 aircraft, so I can only bring in 1 of these destroyers. The rest of the fleet's going to just sit there and watch. So I don't know what I think of those rules. I think they've gone. I understand why they changed them because it was too good in the British side. But there needs to be a way that something like a frigate or a corvette or a destroyer could maybe have a one round combat with a submarine. I mean, literally their job in the war was to kill subs, and that's it. That's why they were built. So the fact that you need planes to find subs and you can only pair one destroyer with 1 cap plane, it's too expensive. Planes cost too much money for Britain to be doing this. Right? Like these 2 seaplanes cost me $14 and they can attack at 3 and defend at 1. Right? That's a lot of money for almost no combat effectiveness. All they can really do is stop the subs from moving through, and then the next turn the sub moves past. Alright, I've rambled on about that enough. But yeah, I'm not trying to say that I hate this rule set. I understand what the point of what they were doing. I think it just went a little bit too far, is all I'm saying. right? So I'm not arguing against it. I like the fact that they've changed it. I just think they changed it, tweaked it a little too much. Needs to ease off just a tiny bit. All right, because I'm spending all my money trying to hunt subs, and then Germany, by the time I kill 2 or 3 subs, Germany just makes 5 more. So that's all Britain's been doing this game. It's wasting its money trying to hunt subs. I can't do anything else. Not effectively. And even that, it takes me 3 turns to build a lake carrier, and then I get swarmed by all the subs that spread out, and I can't hunt them down, but they can collapse on me anytime they want. And it hurts. I've lost a lot of Navy to them. Just to the subs. Anyhow. What else we're looking at here? Yeah, that's about it. I'm still not sold on this port thing. I get it, but I need to go over it a little bit more. I think it's if it's historically accurate, that's great. But I think it's kind of broken the game mechanic of how you can move your navies a little bit. Certain countries like Japan and America or the U.S. seem to have not been affected negatively, but it has affected everything in the Mediterranean. We seem to have air bases missing. It might just be that it's the version of the map. So there used to be an air base here and here and here. They're all gone. With the addition of this extra C zone here, right? This split here and this split here. I think this split here already existed, but the air base up here used to be able to protect down here and across here, right? Now there's no air base in southern England or southern Italy or even in Sicily, so there's no way you can get the scramble in there, which makes it difficult. I mean, we still have this one here and this one here, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe they didn't exist as much, or maybe but I mean, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, what else was it that I was going to be talking about this turn? I think that's it. So this day was a lot of fun. We're really freaking tired. It was a lot of fun, though. It was very active. We had a lot of crazy battles. Russia's pretty much down and out, but it's not out yet, which is amazing. This is weird, having France still in the game. Love it, but it's bizarre. I've had somebody attack Russia first, but after 2 or 3 turns, they also turned back and attacked France. But this Germany has been just all, and this turn the Axis have been all about killing Russia first and not worrying about anything else. Russia and China, that's it. So, well, by killing Russia, I mean they got Turkey. Then when they took Turkey, they could move into here. You know, there's been a few things they've done that have really helped them out. So, anyhow, well, that was a lot of fun. I'm loving this game. I'm loving some of the rule changes. Some of them are really minor stuff, like the kind of stuff that just feel natural. Like, you know, the kind of stuff here, like when you're playing a game, like, oh man, we should house roll this in, right? So, and some of them, you know, like they've done it, but I don't know. They've done it, but not the same way we would have done it. So I'm not sure whether it was an intent thing, or they wanted to limit something, or what. So we'll find that out maybe later on when they put out the game. I mean, obviously they don't have to explain anything to me. I'm just trying to put this out there so that maybe if there's anything in here that we noticed that they either already know or haven't thought of, maybe we can help them out in making sure that this game is the best game possible. All right, so that's the end of day 2. We'll be back tomorrow for January 1943. See you then.